Hey, what's up, guys? Just thought I'd talk about the Turtle Power Definitive History of the Ninja Turtles documentary. This came out quite a while ago, and recently, I guess, shared by the official Turtle Power Facebook page. They actually shared a link for the documentary uploaded on YouTube. It's actually uploaded by an official Paramount page. I'll leave the link in the description so you guys can check it out. But yeah, getting to Turtle Power. It says it's the definitive history. Do I have problems with it? Yes. Do I think it's a bad documentary? No. Do I think you'll think it's a great or bad documentary? That's completely up to how much knowledge you have on the turtles beforehand. If you don't have a whole lot of information, I didn't have a lot of information. I just knew stuff about the turtles. I knew about the movies, the cartoons, a little bit about the comics, not much. I'd say this is the best thing to get, a bit more knowledge about the comics, at least the Mirage era of the comics, which is Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman's company that they made, which they talk about, which is interesting. If you want to see some early design concepts of the Turtles, that's really cool. They show how they made the toys, which I thought was really interesting. Um, there's a lot of very interesting things in this. The only problem that I have with this documentary is the fact, and what a lot of other people had a problem with as well, is the fact that they chopped out like half the history. This documentary really shouldn't be called the definitive history because they cut out, like I said, half of it. You have, actually, you probably cut out more like three-quarters because they don't talk about any other comics other than, I believe, the Mirage era ones. Um, Maybe, I'm not sure if some of those others were Archie. I think those are all Mirage that they show. Again, I'm not too well versed in the comics, but I do know that they don't talk about the IDW ones. They don't talk about the 2003 show. They don't talk about the 2007 movie. They don't talk about the 2012 cartoon. None of that. All that skipped over. Next Mutation, not talked about. The Turtle Christmas, not talked about. Granted, some of this stuff, okay, maybe they wouldn't talk about We Wish You a Turtle Christmas or Turtles tunes. Maybe they wouldn't talk about those things, but come on, guys. You're not even going to talk about the Next Mutation. You're not going to talk about the 2003 show. You're not going to talk about the 2007 movie. They really didn't even talk about the second and third movie either. But the information, that they do give for what they give it on is good. I would say this is a great first volume of a Turtles documentary, but you can't call this the complete definitive history. You just can't. You can't call this is the documentary we get, and that's it. There's your Turtle documentary. Well, that's all anyone cares about. The 80s cartoon and the first movie. Nobody cared about anything else besides that. Well, there's a lot of people that did. A lot of people that loved that 2003 show. A lot of people that loved, probably that 2007 movie. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I can deal with it, but again, I've made videos on all those things. You can check out my videos for that if you want to hear me talk about that. I'm not going to talk about that today, but like I said, for what they do cover, it is very good. There is some stuff that does feel a little lacking. For example, they talk about the first movie, but from what I remember, they don't have any of the voice actors from the first movie. They had a couple of the stuntmen actors, but they didn't actually have, you know, Brian Tochi, Robbie Wrist. Of course, you probably can't get Corey Feldman, and I think the other guy's name is Josh Payas or something. I can never remember his name, it seems. But something like that. You don't have him. You don't have Elias Cotes, who, granted, okay, he's doing, what was it? What is that show? My dad watches it. LAPD or LA something. LA Police. It's in line with that Chicago Fire show. He's on that show, right? My dad's like, my favorite character's Alvin. I'm like, which one's Alvin? He's like, that guy with the hat. I'm like, that's Casey Jones from Ninja Turtles. I couldn't believe it, because I knew the name. I'm like, this guy's in this show? And it just so happened to be my dad's favorite character is Casey Jones. But they don't have him in here. They do have Judith Hogue, which is nice. They have, let's see, what else? They have Danny. But they don't have anybody else. That's pretty much it. Oh, and Kevin Clash, the guy who did Splinter, which was nice. As far as the 80s cartoon goes, they are missing they're missing one voice actor. They are missing Rob Paulsen, the guy who did Raphael. They do have Cam Clark and the guy who did Michelangelo and Donatello. And the guy who sounds like Donatello, who does Donatello, he sounds just like he sounds. The other ones kind of have to put a spin on their voice, or they just don't sound. They don't sound like the character at all, it seems. Maybe it's because of aging, I'm not sure. But, it is what it is. They have April O'Neil, which was kind of interesting. She sounds pretty much the same. And they have James Avery before he passed away, so that's really cool. I like that. I know I'm kind of going backwards here, but it's stuff I can remember. I actually fell asleep watching this, so I had to watch the last half today, and I was watching it last night and I fell asleep, so I do apologize. That's why I'm going kind of backwards here. But, yeah, they had that. Then they had the comics. They talk about how the comics got started. They have Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, how they met up. Kevin Eastman's sitting on a bus, and this guy, I think, drops a book or something. It's a magazine, I think. It's some sort of advertisement, like local advertisement. Kind of like those auto traders you get, like, at a truck stop or a gas station. Well, this one was about comic book artists. And I forget what it was called. I think it's called like Scum or something. Scum Magazine or something. I forget what it was called, but it was something like that. And there was Peter Laird in there looking for, I guess, talent or looking for other artists just to meet with, I guess. And Kevin Eastman seen this on the bus coming home from his like pizza job, and he, met up with him. They became friends, and just on a whim, they created this comic book. They borrowed some money, I think, from Kevin Eastman's uncle. It's like $1,200, which back in '84, that was probably quite a bit of money. That's probably like borrowing, $3,000 or $4,000 probably today. But borrowing, $1,200 to create this comic, and I believe they created 3,000 issues, and they sold really well. So then, like, the second one was like 15,000, and they just kept going on, and it just became this huge hit. They explain how they gave it the name Mirage, the fact that it came from, it was just two guys working in a kitchen or a living room or something. So they never really saw themselves, never really saw it getting popular. It was just a mirage. It was just, nothing really there. So that's kind of why they named it that. And, like I said, it's very interesting. You see how they created the toys. I'm just going to kind of summarize up here. But they, created the toys. They show how Playmates got involved and how it kind of started as a toy line, and then the first 5 episodes of the Turtles, and that was it. And then it was like, no, but we got to make more. So they kept making more, got through a couple seasons. Then they got to the movie. The movie is a big hit. Then they talked about the video games. They only talk about the original Turtles arcade game and Turtles in Time. And even that they don't talk about that much. It's just like maybe a minute on those. Again, there's lots of stuff that's missing, it seems. But it was cool to see what they got. I mean, for what they got, okay. At least it didn't feel like, okay, all we're getting is a documentary on the cartoon. I mean, more or less, like I said, you pretty much got your documentary on the comics. Pretty good history for the original run of the comics from Mirage. You have the 80s cartoon, which the only thing they were missing was Rob Paulsen as Raphael, which, again, because maybe he's doing the new Turtles cartoon, he couldn't do it. Okay, fine. From the movie, they don't have any of the voice actors. They do have a couple of the stunt guys, but none of the voice actors, so that's kind of disappointing. Second, third movie, not covered hardly at all. If you want to call it covered, you call 30 Seconds covering 2 films, that's it. All they say is, oh, the second one took it a bunch of steps back, and then the third film, you know, just, oh, well, we had to go back to basics. And that was it. That's all it said. I literally just said what they said about the movie. That's all they said. So I thought that was very disappointing. They talked to a couple fans, which I'm glad that wasn't very long, because I don't care what any fans have to say in a Turtles documentary. To me, that's always kind of a cop-out. Oh, putting your fans in a documentary. I mean, it's one thing if you have them maybe at the end credits, and they're talking about how much they love Ninja Turtles, and maybe they have like a picture-in-picture effect in the credits, and they're just saying why they love the Turtles in the credits. That's a good way to tribute for the fans, but to put them in the documentary, just extend your length. They didn't do it too much in this, which I like, but I know some, oh, let's make a thing about, yeah, here's the fans of the franchise, and who cares? I don't care. I wouldn't even care if I was in it. I wouldn't want to see me. If I was someone else, I wouldn't want to see me in the documentary. So I'm not jealous because they got in there. I wouldn't want to see me in the documentary if I was someone else. It's not just because I got in it. I wouldn't care. Maybe, like I said, in the credits or something, that would be fine. But, yeah. So, I think that's really all I can say. Overall, I think they should have made this as a first volume. I think they should have still covered Next Mutation, 2003, 2007, 2012, and then the 2014 movie. I have a feeling maybe they'll go from Next Mutation, or maybe even the Turtles Toons era. Maybe they'll go from that all the way up to the 2007 movie or the 2012 cartoon. And then maybe they'll make a third one, and cover the 2012 cartoon and then the reboot movies, because we already have a sequel coming out for the reboot. So hopefully maybe they'll do that, or maybe they'll do one that's from, Next Mutation all the way up to the 2007 movie or the 2003 cartoon. Maybe they'll do that, and then maybe talk about the Archie comics and other stuff, and then we'll probably finish it off with maybe like a third volume, and maybe do the 2007 movie, the 2012 cartoon, and then maybe the IDW comics, and then do the reboot movies. I think that'd be a good way to finish it off. I think there's a lot there you could work with. I think if you were to give this, granted this one was independently done, so I can't trash on it too much. I think it's great the guy went to the extent to make the, documentary. I personally did enjoy it. I just wanted more. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's a good thing. I think it's a good thing if you want more. So I hope the guy, I think his name was Isaac Elliott Fisher, hopefully he goes around and does some more for this. Maybe he can do a second volume, but I really think they should start calling this Volume 1. I don't think this is the definitive history when you have half the stuff cut out. When you have some of the comics missing, you have some of the voice actors missing, you have some of the shows missing, and even, the 2007 movie isn't in there. They show a timeline like they were gonna put it in, but it's not in. They've got the little character bios, Leo, Raph, Donnie, and then it shows like a timeline scroll. Like you're gonna get that stuff, but then you don't get it. So it's kind of strange. I mean, I know it's a nice looking effect, and maybe they wanted to, and just deadlines, because this was made for the 30th anniversary of the Turtles. So, maybe that was the case. Maybe it's Paramount rushing them, I'm not sure. But hopefully we see some more. I hope we see a second one, hopefully by 2016. I would love to see it. Maybe since this one probably did so well, maybe Paramount could foot a little bit of the bill here, or something. Maybe someone could help them out with some money, and maybe they could get some more of those actors. Maybe Kickstarter or Indiegogo could help them. Because I want to see the rest of this. I feel like I'm only getting a part of the documentary, and that's what I want to see. So, thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Hope you enjoyed, and let me know in the comments what you guys thought of this documentary. And if you'd like to see it, I'll have it linked below. So thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you next time. Peace.